Hey guys, I guess we're on a video making spree tonight. Um, we have to do it when we got time, huh?
Of course.
Uh, so, ever since I said something earlier in an earlier, we were making one of the earlier videos tonight about Gunology. I've had a couple of folks, yeah, we're gonna do Gunology.
So a couple of folks, huh?
Couple of folks.
Yeah.
Thanks for not name dropping me.
I wouldn't name drop the main person that's been worrying me, Adrian.
My apologies.
So anyway, when we think about end of the world scenario, or a crap hits the fan scenario, that type thing, I think a lot of us make a lot of wrong assumptions.
I know I do.
We make an assumption that we're going to be fighting with our gun.
That may not be the case.
We make a lot of assumptions, and everybody's got their ideas about what that situation could be like or whatever. But odds are it's going to be complete pandemonium. I don't know if you see it going third world type stuff here. I'm not one that wants to get in there and predict, then you say, oh, it's going to be this or going to be that. There's all kinds of possibilities out there, things that can happen and create bad situations. Breakdown, societal breakdown, or that type thing. And under those circumstances, I think a lot of us, think about, or a lot of people have thought about the crap hits the fan scenario. We're going to do this. I got all these guns and all this ammo, and I got this, and I got this, and I got this, and it's all stored up. And I'm going to, batten down the hatches at the house or whatever, and ride it out. And I don't know how realistic that is. And that's why I say we have to be students of the gun, students of weapons. You hear Clint Smith talk about this a lot with some of his Thunder Ranch videos. And Clint is probably one of the predominant minds in this type of thing. He is that real world badass that's been there and done that and earned respect through action. But what's funny is I was kind of teaching the exact same thing, or really very, very, very close, before I knew about Clint or ever heard him speak. And it goes back to that old thing, truth is truth. And nobody, when you're looking at things in a truthful perspective, the same thing's going to come out independently, right? So here's the thing: to be a student of the gun, or to be a student of weapons, doesn't mean we're an expert with the platform that we carry, which we should be. Okay, should be. You should be intimately familiar with the gun that you choose to carry, but not to the exclusion of all others. One of the big things that you see right now, one of the problems that I hear law enforcement trainers talking about are the people they're hiring. A lot of people they're hiring, a lot of the first time they're ever touching a gun is when they get their issue gun.
That's kind of scary.
And they're out and they're stopping cars and they're doing this and they're running up on firearms and literally have no idea what they're looking at, how it works, how to check it, how to unload it, anything else.
It's not good.
Okay, that's a mirror of a lot of the public. A lot of the public barely knows anything about the gun they're carrying, let alone anything else.
That's true.
So I think if you're going to survive, or you've got some of these scenarios of societal breakdown and things going into a mess, you have to be a student of the gun, because you never know. There's a real good chance it's not your gun you're going to be fighting with. You better be able to pick up and go with whatever's available.
That's kind of scary too.
Because if you get to that point, it's not going to be what do you got parts to keep running. Because if you're out there in the middle of the fight and the gun goes down, the last thing you're going to be worried about is fixing it. Give me another gun, right?
You want whatever's available to you in that moment.
So, being a student of the gun or weaponology gives you that broader knowledge to be able to get through those situations. I mean, I see so many people right now, and I guess it means I'm really getting old, because we're sitting here. It's 2024. It's actually August 20th, 2024. In 3 days, my little brother will be 53. Okay, so people born in the year 2000 can buy they're starting families.
Yeah.
And it's just that's just anyway. So when I think about that, and coming through, they haven't really known anything but striker fired semi-automatic handguns. They might have got off into this or that, but for the most part, what they've seen are striker fired semi-automatic pistols.
For the most part, it's really predominantly what's out there, as far as
But
what we
is it
know.
what you know?
What
But
we
is
know.
it what, what if we're in that crap, the crap hits the fan, and all of a sudden, you got one of these.
Well, now I've got it. If something happens to it, I have no clue what I'm looking at.
What do you have there?
This is a P229.
Mm-hmm.
It was and still in a lot of circles is one of the most popular, most accurate, most reliable combat handguns ever built. But a lot of people would look at it like it had three heads. So being a student of the gun, learning how to run a lot of different platforms and how they work. For example, with this gun, if we had ammunition in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first shot would be fired double action, and then every sequential shot would be fired from the single action position. So if you're going to quit shooting and you got it there, now you have a thing over here called the decocker that lets the hammer down without the gun going off.
I had no idea what that was until now.
So, and that's not far removed. That gun was in service in your lifetime.
And yet I didn't even know of its existence.
And it's it and the P226, and I guess you'd say the P220. Those are the guns that built SIG. Not 320s. These are the guns that built SIG. These are the guns that made their reputation. And a lot of folks look at it and go, what? Got no idea. Or, you know, what if you're out there running around and you run up on one of these? Now what do you do with that thing?
No, a little bit.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A total different operational. Now, this is a single action handgun. Maybe a 1911, maybe a Browning high power, or one of their clones. There's millions out there. So, how does that gun operate? What do I have to do to keep it in the fight?
Don't ask me, because I don't know.
Right in the middle of the zombie apocalypse is not the time to find out.
That's true.
Or somebody says, oh, I know what that is. That's a revolver. They're old.
This is a little bit of knowledge that myself and Stephanie just learned not that long ago, which has led us to where we are at this very point in time.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's old. I actually had a guy tell me one time, years ago, and I really thought it's not to kill him. He walked into the store and informed me he was going to rob it. And that particular day, I was carrying a Smith & Wesson Model 19, 4-inch 357 Magnum. And he informed me that revolvers couldn't hurt him. I had to have an automatic to hurt him.
Oh my.
He was not very smart, was he?
No, and a couple of guys in the store intervened. Of course, you know, we got him out the door, called the police, and they picked him up, and he sure enough had a gun. But, and I didn't have to teach him that even though they're old, they're effective. But would you know how to keep that running if that's what you come up on?
To an extent.
Yeah, I mean, you pick it up and you shoot it. Okay, let's everybody notice empty, right? Empty. Show empty. Show empty.
It's empty.
You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what?
Now, if I've picked it up and I've never handled one in my life, I have no idea.
Yeah, let's dump it. And, okay, there. Let's get some ammo. You know.
But if I've never
Exactly.
witnessed it before,
And with the difference, and I didn't bring it. I should have. You know, a Ruger, a Smith, a Colt, or a Taurus on how to get the cylinder open.
then you're really in a pinch.
Because they open differently. So these are things I mean about being a student of the gun. Or what if you run upon one of these?
I would prefer not to.
No, I mean this is what you run up on that you got to continue your fight with.
No, I would prefer not to because that to me looks like it would hurt if I shot it. And I'm talking about me being the one shooting it.
I mean, single action revolver. You know how to load it?
No,
You know how to unload it?
You open that little thing there on the
A
side
little thing there on the side.
and
I do now.
turn. Does that one flip out or no?
No,
You load it, or you pull something out the front there.
no.
Nope. You just turn it and load it
Hold
each
That's
one.
how Rugers work.
I know
That's
how
not
to-
how the Freedom works.
I know how to unload it. Got this little do-ollie right there.
Yeah, but
Pop
how
that
you
casing
get
out
cylinder
for you.
turn?
With
That
your
I can
fingers.
tell you.
Okay. How do you get it to turn? You lower. There you go.
But now on Ruger, all you got to do on a new Ruger is open the gate, and it'll turn.
Okay.
This, of course, is a freedom arms.
Is that something you really want to find out when you got things whizzing past your noggin?
Or zombies coming after your
Or
brains.
zombies coming after your brains.
I mean, this is what I mean. This is what I was talking about when I was telling you guys about gunology or weaponology. Learning to use a wide variety, or especially the most common varieties that might be found. And all we've done right now is talk about a few different handguns.
Haven't made it to the long guns.
You know, if, for example, I don't know, you're out there and some stretch of the imagination, your Glock goes down.
Highly unlikely.
A bad guy puts an anti-freedom pill into the slide.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's out of commission, and you have to scavenge now to find something. And that's what you find. Would you be able to use it?
Possibly at least 5 times.
Yeah, at least 5 times. Maybe 6 if it's fancy.
With this cartridge, it's 5. And cars don't get in the way.
Ooh. See,
Oh.
that I would not want to have to do that.
Or, you know, because
May not
here,
have a choice.
you know, here we'll get the gun. Everybody knows how to operate for the most part.
Beautiful. Perfection.
You know, that's the wonderful thing that Glock brought to the world was a pistol that's easy for anybody to learn to shoot, and that's why they're so prevalent. Why they'll continue to be.
First thing I shot was a Glock.
You know, I see all these videos come out about this gun's the Glock killer, this gun's the Glock killer, this gun's the Glock killer. Glock's irrelevant. Why everybody's dumping their Glock? Why? But yet everything that comes out is measured by
Glock.
It's kind of like the guys that were saying the 308's dead.
I don't know. The best one I think I've heard so far is 45 AARP.
AARP.
Well, that may be. It's short, fat, and it's slow. When it gets there, it just kicks everybody's ass.
So in a sense, it's still got a point.
And we'll talk some about caliber here in a minute, okay? But you see how many different types of pistols, just in handguns that we picked up.
A bunch.
A bunch.
Okay,
And that's what tip of the iceberg, I would imagine.
that gives you a pretty good idea of what's out there. Not everything, but there's no reason to ever think that if we're in a societal breakdown, that you're always going to be able to shoot your gun with your ammo. Because the odds are that's not going to be the case. It may be the case in the very beginning, but it's not going to continue to be the case. And not having a knowledge, working knowledge of the different firearms types, and at least the rudimentaries of how they work, leaves you at a severe disadvantage. You know, and I think about that in terms of, you know, when I hate fooling with airports, right? I despise trying to fly with guns or anything like that. It's just a pain in the butt. I hate baggage check. I hate all that. So typically when I fly, I put everything in one carry-on bag, and that's what I've got. Okay, so I'm flying without my guns. So if I'm flying, say, from here to Vegas for SHOT Show, so when I land in Vegas and I come off the plane and I'm walking through the airport, I don't have my knife, I don't have my pistol, I have any of this. So if something was to break loose, I have got to, in that situation, one has to be able to make do with whatever they can put their hands on.
Yep.
Not always gonna have a firearm.
Now will I at least have a knife a short time after I get into Vegas? Yeah. But it's probably gonna be when I get to my hotel. I'm gonna be basically disarmed of anything from the airport to the hotel.
So what happens if excrement hits the ceiling on the way to the hotel?
Weaponology. You figure out how to survive with what's around you. A working knowledge, because trust me, in Nevada, lots of people carry guns.
Mhm.
And if all that breaks loose, somebody is gonna, unfortunately,
Cease to exist.
they're gonna run into a bad situation.
They're
And
gonna expire.
They're gonna expire.
They're no longer gonna have use of their goods.
Mm.
And if you're a student of weaponology, it's not going to matter what it is. You'll be able to run it. So that's just looking at the handgun aspect. Okay? Which, if we want to think about it, in a true societal meltdown, long gun is going to be your best friend. Now we're going to talk about that in the next segment. I try to keep these segments fairly short so people can digest them. So guys, being a student of weaponology means learning how to use the different platforms. I want to introduce that concept to you, give you an idea of what we're talking about, and then we'll make another video later explaining the use of each type. So for now, we're going to wrap this one and see if we can prepare to give you guys something on the long guns in this situation. See you soon.